You too! She just exposed herself big time.
How cool. But, okay, anything else?
Oh, this is Emily. Have you met her?
Yes, Chris!
Oh.
What? Let me get this straight. You're telling me that a streamer who has previously done shitty stuff on camera might not be the innocent, well-meaning person that they try so hard to portray on stream? No, that can't be possible. Everybody knows that streamers are who they say they are on stream. They're not allowed to lie. You almost had me there. Guys, I honestly think that out of every aspect of social media, the negative side effects of streaming being so popular is what's going to end up having the biggest impact on our society as a whole. And a big reason as to why I say that is for pretty much like every other form of content creation, at least for the most part, I feel like most people, definitely not all, but most people, are at least like subconsciously aware that the person they're seeing on the screen is probably not who they would meet if they met that person in real life. Like anybody who's a social media figure, an influencer, whatever, whenever they're on camera, they're putting on some sort of act or some sort of character. Now that act or character might be like 95% the real them, but nobody is like 100% their selves when they're at their job. I feel like that's just like normal human nature. It's essentially just like an online customer.
Man, that's an interesting take, you know, because personally, I feel like there is no discrepancy between me and my off the internet and myself on the internet. The only thing I would say is that, yeah, I'm just a little bit more cautious. Not cautious, but I just think a lot more about the things I say before I say them. But besides that, my personality is still the same. I think that's just what it is for some content creators. Some of them just aren't interesting people unless they do put on this persona. And that's just how it be. And then there are other people, such as myself, that don't need to do that. So, I mean, you pick and choose apples and oranges.
Or service voice. It's just the way it is. Even if you've watched every single one of my videos ever, if you met me in person, I probably would not be like a one-to-one match of who you'd expect to meet. I'd probably be far cooler and much more handsome than you're expecting. But the reason I say this is because I feel like with streamers, people forget about this a lot quicker. When you're watching somebody live for hours, sometimes their entire day, every day, it's a lot easier to be like, this is definitely who this person is. This is their authentic self. And I honestly feel like that mindset with streamers out of all the different kinds of content creators is the most dangerous. If I'm going to be honest here, I feel like streamers are the fakest people on the entire internet. And I don't even think most streamers would really take offense to that. I really just think that that is the meta right now. If you've watched any of the top streamers over the last year, you immediately know what I'm talking about. None of the guys who are dominating the streaming world right now behave like they do on stream, like they do in real life, because if they did, they would be hospitalized. Streamers do not act like normal people. That's just how it is. But people really start believing in these acts because they somehow can't see that every aspect of streaming is fake. Seriously, it all fucking is, even down to the view counts, which, my God, what a long segue, gets us to what we're talking about today. Another huge streamer has once again been exposed for using view bots, which, like, at this
With that whole it's all fake, I just think that audiences have a certain expectation because they see a certain side of people, and they tend to forget that humans are complex. Humans have a variety of different sides to them. Even the people that are watching these said content creators, they are complex themselves. They're not always happy, always sad, always mad, always content, always driven, always sociable, always to themselves. You know, there's so many nuances to every single individual. It's just that what's shown on the internet is a consistent persona that just attracts attention, and then people attach themselves to that one persona, and then they tend to forget that there's more to said person. And then like the parasocial relationships plays a role into it, because with that you start believing that persona that you're seeing all the time is who they are, and then you get so hooked and focused on that certain aspect of them, and you believe that's all they are. And then, like I said, you get lost in the sauce, forgetting that there's more to them than just what you're seeing on the internet. Lord and behold, wait. I just feel like it's common sense, but you know how it be. Common sense just ain't so common.
At this point, I don't even know if this is newsworthy. I think this is, again, just the meta. I think this is what every major streamer is doing, because if they don't, they're going to fall behind. Recently, while she was live, the streamer Extra Emily exposed a tab that was open on her browser that was opened to a website for a viewbotting service. Now, we've talked about Extra Emily once before on this channel, and that was when she ran a red light because she was too busy reading chat. So, you know, she Apparently she's also caught up in like some Mr. Beast drama right now where people are accusing her of ruining a Mr. Beast video. Apparently when he did that like big streamer collaboration video, she went live before anybody else did, but like half the people that I've seen talk about this said that she just went live when she was supposed to and everybody else was late. But still a bunch of people are mad at her right now because whatever the first thing is to spread on the internet is usually what is just considered the truth blindly. Either way, that's not the focus of today's video. I kind of chose to personally ignore all the Mr. Beast drama that's been going on over the last few weeks, but this viewbotting shit does intrigue me. We've been seeing a lot of people get called out for this over the last few months, most notably the burnt penis.
Look, let me ask you a question. If you're making content and you understood that viewership, likes, and just having attention on your live streams and your content gets you sponsors, which then gets you more money and then gets you more notoriety, and it just is an endless loop where it just feeds itself. And then someone just came and told you, nobody will ever know that you're doing this. It's just between me and you. You just paid me a few $100 and then I'll give you X amount of viewership. And then it's gonna boost your average views, your follower count, your subscribers, and then you'll start making more money. Anybody, if you put yourself in that position, would you really tell yourself no? Maybe you will, but I would argue that most people would take it because it's just a smart thing to do, especially when you're in a space where you're just fighting for attention. You're fighting for that first view. You're fighting to keep people on your content, right? So if you can do that and it puts you and gives you an advantage over other streamers, why wouldn't you do it?
Nut got accused of it not too long ago. Asmongold, Stable Ronaldo. I mean, like a bunch of names have had this shit kind of pop up over the last few months, and creators being exposed for this just seems to be getting more and more common. Real quick, just so you can see what we're talking about, this is the clip from Emily's stream.
How cool. But, okay, anything else?
Oh, this is Emily. Have you met her?
It's Chris!
Oh.
As you can see, when she hovers over her Google Chrome, in one of her windows is
Call
a
it
website
4K.
opened up called viewbot.ai. Now, YouTube, please hear me. This is for educational purposes only. Please do not fuck this video, I beg of you. Direct all that anger towards all the actual porn on this website. It's getting worse, somehow. But this is the website she was on, and
What?
I mean, pretty cut and dry, I feel like. Don't
You watching porn on YouTube? Bruh.
really know why you'd have this website open as a streamer if you weren't at least interested or thinking about it. It's kind of funny though because it shows a bunch of streamers at the bottom who like use this service apparently. I don't know if I really buy it. Seems a little too good to be true, but I did some research and it seems like this is a legitimate viewbotting website, and oh my god, is this shit expensive. If you want 1,000 viewers, it's $750, and like I almost feel like you're wasting money at that point. You could go for the 50,000 viewer option, but then you're paying $35,000. Like I don't even really know how this shit translates. From what I've heard, people generally use this kind of stuff to like trick sponsors, and I mean,
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Seems like the only logical thing to do is to trick sponsors and then just get additional flow of income coming in. But bruh, what? You're thinking you scamming the system the whole time. You're getting scammed by the people that are helping you. Like what? That's expensive for no reason. At that point, you might as well just build an authentic audience and community. And you want to be in a place where you don't want to have to rely on stuff like that anyways. Like think about like Corey Kenshin, Joe Bartolozzi, Young Don the South Scott, I'm Dante, DJ Ghost, Kai Sinat, Duke Dennis, Agent 000, you know what I'm saying? Plethora of different examples. All of them are able to maintain viewership, their community and audience, and be consistent, all based off of their strength of their personality alone. And if you just can't get to that point, then this game isn't going to be for you. You ain't going to be able to last forever because it already seems like there's a content shortage in just the streamer space in general. But I just feel like that's all because everybody copied the Kai Cenat blueprint. And since Kai Cenat pretty much became the face, you know what everybody's going to do? They're just going to copy and paste and follow. So everybody thinks they have to be high energy, very expressive, when you really don't have to be. You just have to be yourself and be somebody that people are going to connect with. And if that's your personality, then cool. If it's not, then it's not. Because once you're outed as being someone that you're not, there's no coming back from that. And it's just hard to keep that persona going up for so long. And then it's going to cause you to start thinking and doing things like this where it's like, man, maybe it would be good to just start buying some views, and then it takes a little less load off of me.
And if you can trick a company into thinking that you have tens of thousands of live viewers at once, they're going to pay a fuck ton for sponsorship. So I mean, I guess that's where the money comes in. Still, this seems outrageous to me. On the topic of things that seem outrageous to me though, it's kind of outrageous that you don't follow me on Instagram. And if you do, it's outrageous that you haven't gotten all your friends to do it as well. My Instagram follower count to subscriber ratio is embarrassing. My colleagues make fun of me, guys. I go into the YouTube office and they're like, oh my god, look at this idiot. He doesn't even have 50K, but you can help me. Moving on.
That reminds me, y'all ain't subscribed. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Like the video. This is just the beginning. We're going to grow and get bigger. It's going to be more than just reaction content. This is just what I'm starting off with. I'm about to start posting on my gaming channel, so go tap in with that.
It has a bunch of viewers, or if a video has a bunch of views, it kind of seems like it's been vouched for in a way. Like obviously a bunch of people have approved of it. You know, if somebody is looking for something to watch on Twitch, the psychological difference between clicking on a stream with 50 viewers and one with 500 viewers is huge. The difference between 50 and 5,000 is massive. So while I think it's hilarious that she didn't even think to close out the tab before starting up her stream, I'm honestly kind of split as to who should be blamed for this. Now look, obviously in a perfect world, no streamer would pay for a viewbotting service even if they knew that they probably wouldn't get caught. Unfortunately though, we do not live in a perfect world, and it seems like every major streamer is doing it. But is that just because streamers like to see their numbers bigger than everybody else? Or is it because the ecosystem of websites like Twitch and websites like Kick punish them if their numbers don't look like that? I feel like we're in the era of like mega streaming. You know, much like how YouTube has been Mr. Beastified, I feel like streaming has been Kai Cenatified, where it seems like if you aren't doing these insane streams where you're pulling like Super Bowl numbers, you're basically irrelevant. So don't get me wrong, I'm not like condoning this, I'm not excusing it. You know, you do the
It's just the problem with people being sheep and followers. It's crazy because I didn't really think it was going to mean anything when I was a kid, because I was told growing up, my pops always told me, don't be a follower, be a leader. And he reiterated that to me so many times on a variety of different occasions, and it stuck with me. And I didn't like it because I didn't know that I was being a follower. But as a child, you know, you want to do what other people are doing. Oh, they're doing this. I want to be a part of that. I want to have fun. I want to be seen. I want to be liked. And then you do what they do. But then you find yourself going down a rabbit hole and making decisions that you wouldn't have made had you just made decisions from yourself. So I don't know. It's just a difference between people being sheep and being leaders. You know what I'm saying? And Kai Cenat, he wasn't following nobody. Yeah, he started off making content like the people he was interested in. I think he liked FouseyTube and people like that. But he transitioned into changing the entire streaming space and the whole game. And now everybody's doing the Kai Cenat method. But now that he's gone, it's really just showcasing the lack of creativity most people have. Some people are able to just, you know, stick in there because they've had their audience built over a long period of time. And that's what I hope to do. Like I said, I'm Dante, Corey, Kenshin, Your Rage, you know, stuff like that. But people are also doing things different, like Blackboy Max. And the whole creative avenue he's doing with his whole music. And then he's making songs with celebrities and stuff. He's really changing the game in that aspect. And there's not a lot of people in the space that are doing things like that. It's just a lot of just copy and paste and then just dull personalities.
right thing because it's the right thing to do. Just because everyone else is doing it, you don't have to do it. You know, if all your friends jumped off a bridge kind of shit. But like, I do see the perspective that a lot of these streamers probably see, even if it's a silly one. I'll say it again. So much of streaming is fake. Like, it all feels fabricated. It is an industry where you really do have to fake it till you make it. It genuinely seems like if you want to be a popular streamer these days, you either just have to already be a popular streamer, or you have to like force it into existence. I mean, take for example Clavicular. We've been talking about him pretty frequently. Imagine how many clippers that guy has on his fucking roster. Think about how many mentions and clips of Clavicular that you've seen against your will. And guess what? It worked. The guy is basically like a real celebrity now. Streaming, and like really all content creation, I feel like right now, but especially streaming, has never been more inorganic. Like, it used to be the case that if you were putting out good content, if you were a likable person, you could probably build a community no matter what. It might not be a huge one, but these days it feels like if you want to build anything, if you want to have any success, you have to like make people watch you, especially if it's streaming. You have to get clips in front of every single person on the planet, because if you don't, you just have no chance. And I feel like a lot of people catching on to that is another big reason as to why viewbotting has become basically like an epidemic. Because even if you make every clip in the world, even if you do get a stupid clip in front front of every single person on planet Earth. If they go to your channel and you have like 12 viewers, they're gonna be like, my god, this guy's ass. Why is he not banned? Let me go watch this guy with 30,000 viewers scream and pretend that he has zero common sense when he reads chat instead. It's like, it's just what you gotta do these days, it feels like. I really think that Twitch should kind of get their shit together and crack down on this because it would probably benefit everybody involved. I don't really know how viewbotting works, if I'm being 100% honest, so I don't know if like the increased artificial traffic benefits Twitch. If it does, then I wouldn't be surprised if that's why they're not really doing anything about it, but it just seems super irresponsible for a platform as big as Twitch. That's one thing I actually really like about YouTube, is that artificial traffic is really taken super seriously. It seems like no matter how small it might be, if one of your videos somehow gets some inorganic traffic, YouTube's gonna notice. Like there's been 2 or 3 times throughout my YouTube career where I get like a notice from YouTube where they say something like, we noticed some inorganic traffic on one of your videos, so we've adjusted your monthly payout to reflect that, and it'll be a difference of maybe like 5 cents, but still, at least they notice it. When it comes to Twitch, it seems like viewbotting has become a thing that is just like part of a stream's optimization, which is insane, but really does seem like that's the case. Every top streamer says that every other top streamer does it, and with so many of these huge streamers being managed by massive media companies, I'm sure a lot of them are getting viewbotted on behalf of their companies without even knowing it. So, I mean, I don't really know what to think about it. It's just one giant shit show, and there's also the question of, like, if everybody's doing it, does it really make a difference? I don't know. Well, guys, what are your thoughts? Like I said, is viewbotting a shitty thing to do? Obviously. If you do so, are you actively hurting the ecosystem that pays your bills and also deceiving the people that pay your bills? Absolutely. But at the same time, I don't know why Twitch just doesn't do something about it. Like, surely on their end, it has to be, like, kind of obvious. Maybe it's not. That'd be hard for me to believe, but either way, Twitch historically has always been a website where people are gonna push the rules to, like,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Twitch, even just in the past year, 2 years, has shown that they don't really care. The only time they care is when everybody starts getting on their back behind, and then that's when they start making action. And then they do stuff to people that you would think is ridiculous, and then when other people do certain things, it's like, what? Like the whole Nina Lynn situation, it just makes no sense, right? But like I said, I just feel like it's a lack of true creativity in the space. Yeah, all these content creators, they got a lot of money, but they don't got a lot of substance. You feel me? Yeah, I could just spend a lot of money, go here, go there. But it's like, when you extrapolate all of that and it's just you and the camera, are you interesting? Are you engaging? Do you have a good personality? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that counts more than anything. And then it's like, you don't want to have to keep putting on that persona. This whole view botting situation, I don't feel like it's really that big of a deal. Let's keep it a buck. If you were in that situation, likelihood of you doing it is very high. So let's not really downplay it and act like it's a bad thing just because we see them doing it and they're bigger streamers, you feel me? I'm sure there's plenty of small streamers that if they have the opportunity, or if they've gotten the opportunity, they've either taken it, thought about it, and even if they didn't, it doesn't make you any better. That's really my thoughts on it. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget, like and subscribe, man. This is only the beginning. And you already know, I'm not Kenny, but I'm just like you.